Hey everyone, how's it going? So on Tuesday, kind of out of nowhere, the publication Game Informer decided to drop a bunch of new Sword and Shield details on us because they got to go to Game Freak's headquarters and interview Masuda, Omori, and a bunch of other people. Anyway, amongst the details we have learned so far from these interviews are that HMs won't be in the game, Throw is confirmed to have made it in the game, thank goodness, and it was even implied that the natures of Pokemon will be able to be changed in order to allow more Pokemon to be competitively viable. The biggest and most interesting detail that's come out of these interviews, however, is that there are going to be 18 gyms in Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is not only insane, but that's also basically one of every type, so we might actually finally be getting that elusive Dark-type gym as well. According to Omori, these gyms are going to be split up into major and minor leagues, further emulating the whole sports theme, and what gyms are in the major league changes every year for the Galar League Championships and is also different between the versions. So first off, I've got to say that I love this idea. Having that many gyms in one game could provide for an extremely large amount of content, both during the main story and in the post-game. But it's obviously a big thing that I don't think any of us even thought was an option before, so like, how is this going to work exactly? How this mechanic functions gameplay-wise was not specified in the interviews, so we're kind of in the dark on that front, which is why I have decided to go ahead and speculate on just how this could work. There are a number of different options and possibilities for how this could go down, so why don't we go ahead and take a look at them. First, we've got to address the elephant in the room. Will all 18 gyms be able to be battled? There are some online who have expressed skepticism about this, but if I had to put my money on it, I would say they definitely will be. Gyms are literally made for battling, and even the few unofficial ones we have seen in the series have been able to be battled, so why would they put them there if you couldn't challenge them? So with it being pretty safe to assume that every one of the 18 gyms will be able to be taken on and challenged, how is this system going to flow exactly? We do know from previous statements that needing to beat 8 gyms to challenge the league is still the norm, so it's not like that part of the game is going to be much different. I think the key here though is that major versus minor league dynamic. It's probably pretty much a given that the major league gyms will be the 8 you have to face to get to the league, but then where does that leave the presumably 10 minor league gyms? I've heard some say that the 18 gyms could be split up across the 2 games, so it'd be more like 9 per game, but I'm nearly certain that this is not the case either, since that only leaves 1 extra gym outside of the 8 you have to face anyway, and 1 gym does not make for very much of a league of any kind. So far we've established that all 18 gyms most likely will be able to be battled, and all 18 most likely will appear in both games. So how does that even out in the story? Well, we know from previous trailers as well as the interview itself that some gyms will be exclusive to Sword and some to Shield, but the exclusivity, as Omori reveals in the interview, is tied to which gyms are in the major league, further implying that the 8 you battled to get to the league will be the 8 that are in the majors. When it comes to the 10 minor league gyms and how they will be able to be challenged, there's a couple of different options. First, your mind naturally probably goes to the idea that they will be a part of the post-game, a la Kanto's gyms in Gold and Silver. While that would certainly make for an amazing post-game, there is one issue I find with this idea, and that's why would the gyms from the lesser league not be able to be challenged until you end up being the champion yourself? If you're able to challenge the major league gyms in the main story, why would you have to wait for the minor league ones? However, with that said, if they were set on using this approach, one way I could reasonably see the minor league gyms being locked in the post-game is not because you can't challenge them within the main game for some silly reason, but because the locations they reside in are inaccessible themselves until you become champion. While new areas opening up in the post-game hasn't happened too much in the recent past for Pokemon, it's not something that's unfamiliar or unheard of either, so I think this would actually be a genius way of making the Minor League Gym Challenge your post-game quest, because not only are inaccessible areas of the map prior to beating the game completely understandable and acceptable, but it also requires that these gyms be in a brand new location of some kind that you have never seen before, which gives us even more content as we'll be able to explore these new areas in addition to challenging the gyms. I don't know how likely all of that is, but if I was in charge, that is the way I would do it because that sounds fantastic. Another option, however, could naturally be to have all 18 gyms be able to be challenged within the main story, but the minor league ones are optional. That way, you can naturally challenge them as you should be able to alongside the primary major league ones, but they won't be required to progress. They'll just be sort of a side quest to obtain all of their badges while you work on obtaining badges from the main league, and then inevitably, when you have a few left over, you'll be able to go and take those on in the post-game, and who knows, maybe you will gain access to something extra special once you have all 18 badges, the same way that you gained access to Mount Silver and the battle with Red and Gold and Silver once you had all 16 badges in that game. Personally though, it's really hard to say which one of these I feel like is most likely, just because this entire concept of 18 gyms in one game, not even split across multiple regions, doesn't even seem like it should exist. Like, this is something that happens in fan games, not the real thing. However, I more than welcome the concept just because I think it's going to add so much more playability to these games, just as long as we do get to battle every one of these gyms, which I believe we will, so I am extremely excited about this. You guys are definitely going to need to let me know how you feel this could work in the comments below though, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Definitely subscribe if you're new as well, and you should totally check out my Pokemon Cardinal project if you haven't yet either, because I'm making a brand new region. It's pretty great. I'll also see you guys tomorrow for whatever is revealed in that mysterious 24-hour Sword and Shield live stream that's going on, so that should be pretty fun. But with all of that said, I love you guys, and until then, as always, I will smell you guys later.